Good morning and Jai Jagat, everyone. Very soon we are going to begin with the event. I wish you all the best to all the participants, especially.
A very good morning to everyone present here. Welcome to the first virtual Literary Fest for Class 10. It is my honor and privilege to welcome amidst us respected Ms. Saima Khan ma'am and Ms. Nikat Khan ma'am, who had been kind enough to spare their valuable time for us and agreed upon to adjudicate today's event. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ma'am Shushmita Basu, Superior Principal, Head, Center for School Improvement, for gracing the occasion with her presence. I would also like to welcome Ma'am Jyoti Kashyap, Senior Principal, Aliganj Campus 1, Ma'am Shivani Singh, Principal, Aliganj Campus 1, Ma'am Anupama Checker, Principal, Rajaripuram Campus 2, and Ma'am Vera Hajela, Head Spoken English, CMS Alumni Association, ISOR High Project and Dramatics, and last but not the least, my dear students. Today we are here to develop knowledge and improve our communication skills to facilitate our ability to work collaboratively with others. We will nurture skills which include communication competencies such as active listening and speaking and appropriate self-disclosure. The event Eloquent Expression will provide you the platform to think out of the box and off the feet. It will help you to boost your confidence and sharpen critical thinking. And before we move forward, I would like request Ma'am Basu, Superior Principal, Head, Center for School Improvement, to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Jai Jagat, everybody. I would like to welcome our most respected judges, Saima ma'am and Nikat ma'am, our dear principals, Mrs. Vera Hajela, Head of Spoken English, the members of the Center for School Improvement who have designed this entire competition, who have thought it up and designed this entire competition. The wonderful, smart and confident 14 participants of class 10 who are representing the various campuses. And of course, the other students of class 10 who are part of the audience and witnessing the proceedings through the YouTube channel. Eloquence is a painting of your thoughts. Talking and eloquence are not the same. To speak and to speak well are two different things. True eloquence is saying all that is necessary and nothing but what's necessary. I know you students are well prepared. Congratulations to begin with for being the chosen ones from your respective campuses. But my dear children, always remember this quote of Celine Dion. I'm not in competition with anybody but myself. My goal is to beat my last performance. So all the best, students, and I welcome everybody once again. Jai Jagat.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivating and encouraging words. Prayer works miracles in our lives. each morning is a new beginning with new hopes and aspirations. The words of wisdom promote spiritual well-being of each individual. With this positive note, let us invoke God's blessings before we commence our event.
I bear witness, oh my God, that Thou hast created me to know Thee and worship Thee. I testify at this moment to my powerlessness and to Thy might, to my poverty and to Thy will. There is none other God but Thee, a help in peril, the
Indeed, prayer builds meditative and reflective spirit, which gives us strength, courage, peace, and comfort. Speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, and provide food for the mind and create light for understanding and awareness. Today's literary event, Eloquent Expression, will celebrate the creative spirit of the students and will commemorate the literary diversity it will offer while giving a platform to showcase their talent. I quote Winston Churchill here: "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak and to sit down and listen." Unquote. And today, my dear friends, you are the most courageous people right in front of me who have taken up this challenge to come forward and participate in this competition, which I assure is no mean feat. Now, before we commence the event, I would like to invite Ma'am Vera Hajela, Head Spoken English CMS Alumni Association, I Soar High Project and Dramatics to introduce our distinguished judges of the event. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Arpita ma'am. Good morning and Jai Jagat to everyone present on this virtual platform. A beautiful morning this is for all of us here. Welcome to the first virtual Inter-Campus Literary Fest 2021. And I'm sure each one of you is very excited, all the 14 kids representing each of their campuses. From the 14 campuses, class 10 students, welcome on board. It's my proud privilege this morning to introduce our esteemed judges for this event, namely Eloquent Expressions, Mrs. Saima Khan and Mrs. Nikhat Khan. A very warm welcome to you, ma'ams, for being here, for sparing your valuable time and making this doubly exciting for us with your august presence. I'll begin by introducing Mrs. Saima Khan, our esteemed judge. Mrs. Saima Khan, ladies and gentlemen, is an educator and a counselor with an enriching experience of 3 decades. Teaching is not just her chosen profession, but her passion too. She is a former director of Banyan Tree School and the founder director of Head Start Learning Academy, an online seat of learning for myriad age groups. An avid reader and a prolific writer, her articles and poems have been published in the Reader's Digest, Women's Era, Spandan, and Army Welfare Education Society publication of the Educator's Poems, Times of India, and in the compilation of international top 100 poems. Currently, she is in the process of writing a book for the Defense Fraternity, a very noble thing to do indeed. She has conducted several workshops in reputed schools for educators, as well as for students on contemporary issues and for improving the general standard of English language across the country. For her distinguished services in the field of education, she was conferred with commendation card and medal by the GOC and C in Central Command Asian Education Award, and also the Nation Builder Award for serving society by Rotary International. She is a certified IELTS and PTE trainer. As a motivational speaker, she has conducted various webinars on several topics. A privilege to have you, ma'am, on board for this event, Eloquent Expressions. Welcome, and I'm sure this is not going to be a cakewalk for you, ma'am. Tough competition there, judging is always tedious and arduous, but welcome all the same.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on board, ma'am. Time now for me to introduce Mrs. Nikhat Khan, our esteemed judge. Mrs. Nikhat Khan is an educationist with 19 years of teaching experience. An alumna of one of the most prestigious schools in Kanpur, she was groomed her into an avid reader, a trekker, and also a state-level basketball player. She's a postgraduate in English literature and has done honors in systems management. She has taught as the senior English teacher in Unnao for 3 years and then at a prestigious school in Lucknow for 12 years. During this period, she mentored students for organizing several literary festivals and groomed them for competitions like debating, miming, jamming, and dramatics. For her outstanding contributions, she received the Best Mentors Award from the Honorable Kiran Bedi herself in 2010. She has judged a variety of literary competitions at the regional, zonal, and national levels and has conducted various festivals at reputed schools and colleges across Uttar Pradesh. A very warm welcome to you, Nikhat ma'am. Thank you for joining us on board on this virtual platform under the canopy of the first virtual Intercampus Literary Fest 2021 for City Montessori School. Not going to be easy, I tell you, I promise you, a challenging, an arduous and a tedious task, but knowing you very well, both of you ladies, esteemed judges for us this morning, we know that you'll be enjoying it nevertheless. Thank you very much, truly a privilege to have you both.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very warm welcome once again. And all the best to all the 14 lads and lasses. Over to you, Arpita ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for doing the honors. I would now request my co-host, ma'am Samta Rai, to apprise the learners of the rules of the event.
Thank you, ma'am Arpita. So here we have the rules for the competition. Each campus will be represented by one participant and they will be given a code. The participant will be required to select the name of any one author or poet reflected on the screen. The slide corresponding to the name will be displayed on the screen. However, the topic will bear no connection to the author or the poet. The participant will be given 1 minute prior to the speech to think over the topic. The maximum time allowed for the speech will be 3 minutes. The bell will be rung at the end of 3 minutes. 1 mark will be deducted from the total score if the speech exceeds the stipulated time limit. The participant will be allowed to make notes on a piece of paper, but written reference will not be permitted while delivering the speech. The decision of the judges will be final. So here we have the judgment criteria. Content, 10 marks. Poise and confidence, 10 marks. Voice modulation, 10 marks. Diction, 10 marks. Overall presentation, 10 marks. Here we have some general instructions as well. The participants are requested to keep their cameras on throughout the event. The participants should unmute themselves only when they have to speak. The participants must not reveal the name of their campus while speaking. So all the best to all the participants. Now I request Ma'am Arpita to kindly proceed further with the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So all the best, children. Best of luck to all of you. EQ01, are you ready? EQ01, unmute yourself.
Yes,
EQ01,
I'm not audible.
yes, you're audible, child. You can select.
Might choose Tagore.
Yes,
Tagore.
Tagore. Let's see which topic is waiting for you. Silence is not always golden. And you're thinking, time starts now. Child, you can start speaking. Child, you're on mute. Kavika, you're on mute. Yes, start speaking.
A true character is developed through thousands of hurdles. Jai Jagat and a very good morning to one and all present here. My code is EQ01 and I will be speaking on the topic silence is not always golden. We all should speak and support what is right. We should never support the thing which is wrong. If we feel that something is wrong, we should speak for it. We should never be silent if something is wrong. We should speak out our mind. If something is wrong happening with us, we should never be silent. We should seek for someone's help and tell them what is going on. Silence should be
Kavika, just relax and it'll all come back. Just relax. This is a golden silence just now. Okay. So just relax and continue. We are all ears.
silence. We should never be silent, and we should always support what is right. We should silence never helps us in any problem which we are facing. If we are silent, then that problem may get worse and worse. So that is why silence is not always golden.
Great. Just do not be nervous. Okay. Well, very well done. You came up and you spoke over here, and you will not take it personally that you made any mistake. You've done nothing wrong. Great, wonderful. God bless you.
Judges, kindly note.
Very well spoken, Kavika. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, and I quote, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter, unquote. Actually, the thing we will remember at the end is not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And thank you so much, Saima ma'am, for encouraging Kavika. Tripti ma'am, can we have the time taken by the participant? Maybe know the time taken by the participant, please.
Yeah. Judges, kindly note the participant took 2 minutes 29 seconds to complete the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we move forward to EQ02. EQ02, unmute yourself first.
Yes,
EQ02. Yes.
yes.
First select.
Ma'am, I
Yes.
would like Wordsworth.
Wordsworth. Wordsworth. Okay. Let's see the topic. Your topic is children must be allowed to make career choices on their own. And your time to think starts now.
Ma'am, may I start?
Yes, Shail, you can start.
Good morning and Jai Jagat to one and all present here. I'm Yuktira Singh and I study in class 10A. And the topic which I brought today to speak on and to express my views is that children must be allowed to choose their career. It is very well said, and every child should have the right to choose their own career, and they should have the right to live their dreams as according to themselves. And a child, when chooses his or her career, his herself, he is able to know himself or know herself better. A child can know his own interests and ability if he is allowed to, or is given he is given freedom to choose that. And then he is able to decide on every topics, and he's able to make decisions on his own, and he lives an independent life. He's able to decide his path, where he should his goal in life. And if a children I mean, if children choose a career according to the wishes of their parents, they will have a boring academic life, as they would face lack of interest. If the if a child is given independence to choose their own career and is then he would be studying that subject and will be able to achieve his goals. And when he's under pressure by the parents or the family commitment and society that he should do this, and I mean, like when we, for example, when we are in class 10th or in class 12, we are forced by our parents to do engineering only, and like I myself is there in that pressure. So, I mean, if independence is there for the student, he's able to achieve his goals and facing pressure, he would be, I mean, in fear to do that only. And parents are like their kids. So, admission time is near the corner and it is a crucial period in the life of most of the students. Students should be allowed to choose their career. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, child. Very, very well spoken. A child can only know his interests and abilities better than anybody else. He's the one who can give wings to his dreams and passion and make their lives fruitful. If the career path is chosen by the student, he stays oriented towards the end goal. Thus, a common ground needs to be established between both parents and children to motivate them to achieve their dreams and have a successful life ahead. I would now request Tripti ma'am to let us know the time taken by the participant.
Judges, kindly note the participant took 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I invite EQ03. EQ03, unmute yourself.
First of all, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, child.
Okay, so I choose Charles Dickens.
Okay. Dickens is his choice. Let's see which topic is waiting for you. Academic score is not a good measure of intelligence, and your time for thinking starts now. Child, you can start speaking now.
Okay, so a very good morning to one and all present here. I am Arman Rizvi and I study in class 10. I have been given the topic, academic score is not a good measure of intelligence. So yes, it's true that academic score is really not a good measure of intelligence because what we study in our academics, I mean mainly the studies which we are made to study in school. We only have to learn the concepts and there's no concept of extra knowledge involved there. I mean that's mainly tested in Olympiads and which and all. And also there's the point of cheating that some people may cheat and then they can get extra marks, and academic score is also on the limited, but when it comes to extra knowledge there's no limit to it. I mean there are hundreds of topics all over the world and you can study and each topic according to your interest, and academic score and also academic score depends on how much you understand the topic and you understand concept and how much you remember about it in the exam and you write there only. So I don't think that academic score is a good measure of intelligence, because intelligence is the overall knowledge that a person has, and academic score, I would say again, is only limited to the bookish knowledge, as we call it, those who only keep on turning the pages of books. And then one more point that can be said here is that suppose you get a chapter that is not of your interest, then obviously you will have more difficulty in learning it. And suppose you get a chapter that you find easy and that's interesting for you, so you can easily understand it. Suppose we can say like only one reading or two times reading and you will learn it by heart. But intelligence is basically the overall knowledge that you gather from reading different kinds of books, be it on general knowledge and space and sports and current affairs and all that. So that's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, child. I totally agree with you, and very brilliantly you have put forward your viewpoint. And intelligence is a broad measurement of performance that includes good grades and scores, but they are not the only platform of measurement of intelligence. It is the desire to succeed that drives you in the direction of success in any of your endeavors. Very well spoken. I would now request Tripti ma'am to kindly let us know the time taken by the participant.
Judges, kindly note the participant took 2 minutes 44 seconds.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now invite EQ04. EQ04?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I choose Narayan.
Okay, your choice is Narayan. Let's see the topic. Your topic is online learning is as good as face-to-face learning. And your time for thinking starts now. Child, you can start speaking now.
Good morning and Jai Jagat to one and all present here. I agree that online learning is as good as face-to-face learning because children interact better in online classes and teachers can show them interesting videos, they can present slides, they can present whiteboards, which is not that comfortable in offline classes. And also in such pandemic time, it is very safe for both students and teachers to do online classes. Online classes have a benefit that any child in any part of the world, whether he's not in the same city as the school is, whether he's anywhere, the physical barrier of distance is overcome. I mean to say that if online classes are as good as face learning, we have been doing it for past 1.5 years now, and children are still learning. The children are still performing well in their exams. So online learning is as good as face learning. Online learning helps the children to interact better with the teachers. They can take notes better. They can complete their work on time during online classes. In online classes, the focus of the teachers is mainly to make the concepts of the students clear rather than doing some written work or giving them notes. So children are benefited from online classes. I personally have a view that online, I have been able to learn much better in the online classes than the face learning because I'm more comfortable with asking doubts to the teachers. I'm more comfortable with discussing anything with my friends at any point of time when I want to. And online classes are mainly better than face learning because in face learning, we don't have the technology which can be used during the online classes. And plus, it is very comfortable for both the students and teachers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, child. Very, very well spoken and so apt topic in today's environment, right? And your speech was evident of the fact that you spoke from your experience. And if you're well motivated, organized, and prefer to study at a time and place that suits you and better your work skills, then online education can be just as good as face-to-face learning. May I now request Tripti ma'am to let us know the timings, please.
Judges, kindly note the participant took 2 minutes 13 seconds.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, I now invite EQ05. EQ05.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
EQ05, you are audible. Yes. You can now select.
I would like to choose Rowling.
Wild. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, rolling. You said rolling. Your topic is social media is making us unsocial, and your time to think starts now. Shall you can start speaking now?
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Shambhavi Srinath, and my topic is social media is making us unsocial. Now, we're all very much aware of what social media is. It is an interactive platforms which helps content creators to share their content. It helps us connect with people. But like every coin has two sides, it also, my topic as it says, is making us unsocial. And I very much agree with it. Because yes, social media has helped us in so many ways. It helps us to connect with people. We can search so many stuff. We can learn so many new things, and we can also learn new information. We can also know what is going around the world. I completely agree that it has helped us to a very much to like a very great extent. But like it is said that social media is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. If we let it control our lives, which I think we already have, it has made, as a result and as a consequence, it has made us unsocial. Unsocial in ways that we are not spending time with people. We are just there looking at a screen, and just it has given us this sense that we just think about how people on the internet would think about us rather than how people we meet in real life will perceive us. It has also given us this image that the people on the online are perfect, but in reality it's like the complete opposite. So to conclude, I would just like to say that we have no clue what's going on around there. We are just there staring at our screens and thinking, oh, this is what's happening. But it's like in the real world, when we will step out in the real world, we will get to know how different things are. It has also made us distant from our parents and friends. Like we would, many of the students would much rather watch a YouTube video rather than chat with their friends, or have a chat with their grandparents or like their parents. I would just like to say that I don't think we are going on the right path, but if we have a hold of it, and if we just think about how we can, if we use it like in an appropriate way, I think social media is a very, very good thing. But I also think that we should just keep that phone away and spend some time with our family and parents, because we never know how things are going to end. So I would just like to say that, and thank you.
Thank you so much, child. Very, very well spoken. We must remember that our real life relationships may begin to mimic the shallow relationships of social media if we are unable to dedicate uninterrupted time to deeper connections. Virtual friends can never beat real friends. May I now request Tripti ma'am to let us know the timings, please?
Judges, kindly note that the participant took 2 minutes 32 seconds.
Thank you, ma'am. We now move forward to EQ06. EQ06.
Ma'am, am I audible?
You are audible, child.
Okay, ma'am. So I would like to choose Shakespeare.
Okay, Shakespeare is your choice. Let's see which topic is waiting for you. Your topic is Beauty Lies in the Eyes of the Beholder. And your time to think starts now. Child, you need to switch on your camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Child, you can start speaking now.
Yes, ma'am. Beauty, like what is beauty? Anything can be beautiful or ugly for anyone. There are people in the world you would not believe that do not like pizzas, but would rather prefer to eat vegetables, green vegetables, which no one likes. And you would think, like, what is wrong with that person? But as the topic says, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. A person, anyone whom you love, you will think beautiful. Even if the whole society disagrees with you or rejects that person, but if you like them, you will think them as beautiful. Even a good person can sometimes be ugly in your eyes, if he has done something bad with you, unintentionally or intentionally, you might think him to be an ugly entity after all, but people would think him to be good. People would think him to be a nice person who helps in the society, but you would like, no, he's not a good person. He has done bad things with me. So beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder after all. As the person sees them, as the mind perceives the person or the thing in front of them, that is how we react with each and everything present in front of us. Even small objects which help us in difficult times, even a small calculator. If you could get in an exam a calculator, you would think it to be the best thing in the world if you would have to do difficult calculation. But other times you would just throw it away like it is a useless thing. So beauty lies not only in the eyes of the beholder, but also at the perfect time. At one time you may think a thing to be useless, completely not of a use, like, what's this, I don't need this. But at the very next moment you might be looking for it everywhere, you might be needing it for some urgent purpose. So yes, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder itself, not anything else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, child, and very well spoken. I like the sense of humor you have and the kind of examples you gave. And definitely, I agree with you that everything that is made beautiful and fair and lovely is made for the eye of one who sees it. I like the example of the calculator you gave in the examination hall. And if only our eyes saw souls instead of our bodies, how different our ideals of beauty would be. Very, very well spoken. I request now Tripti ma'am to kindly let us know the timings, please.
Judges, kindly note that the participant took 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we move forward to EQ07. EQ07, please unmute.
Shelly.
Child, I can't see you. Did you switch on your camera?
My camera is switched on.
But you're not visible, child.
Just a second, ma'am. I'll just. Ma'am, am I visible now?
Yeah, you're visible now. You're visible now. So you chose the top. You chose
Shelly.
Shelly. Okay, let's see which topic is there for you. The topic is participating in reality shows has an adverse effect upon children. And your time to think starts now. Child, you can start speaking now.
Okay, so I would like you all to imagine if one day you wake up and you see a monochromatic world, a world, the rainbow, which the spectrum has no colors, it is just gray and black. Well, that means that you are not in a good state of mind. Good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Raina Kausar, will be presenting forth my views on the topic. Participating in reality shows has an adverse effect upon children. Well, I truly concur with this given statement because, well, it might affect as we all know, that children are innocent and naive, and their mind is fragile. So if they ever come across a comment which is not that appreciable, their mental health will be affected, and therefore and this might actually not affect them as much in the present, but in the future it will really affect them, because as we all know that no one eventually will stay by your side. The only person who will stay by your side forever is you yourself. And that is why it is very important to take care of your mental health as well as physical. Children who are exposed to the harsh world at a young age often indulge in activities which are not appreciable, and that will affect their mental health. It has been rightly said, and I quote, mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. We need not actually participate in things which we do not like just to prepare a good maybe CV for the future. We need to indulge in activities which we really like and which would actually burnish our skills. With that, I conclude my speech, and I truly believe that participating in reality shows has an adverse effect upon children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, child. Very, very well articulated. It is indeed that children are not yet old enough to face the pressures and stress of reality shows. The pressure to perform well can lead to frustration in children participating in reality shows. But it is also true that reality shows give you the platform to explore more and improvise your skills. It's a platform for you to showcase your talent. Tipti ma'am, can we have the timings, please?
Judges, kindly note the participant took 2 minutes, 7 seconds.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now request my co-host, Ma'am Santa Rai, to conduct the event further. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Arpita. You can start speaking now.
Good morning. I am Sar Anayati, and I will be speaking on the topic celebrities are not always good role models. Let's start with a simpler question. What makes a good role model? Personally, I believe a good role model doesn't even have to be a specific person. It could be an event, it could be words spoken by someone, it could be even something as vague as nature. What matters is that this role model is something that inspires you and encourages you to walk on the right path. Unfortunately, in today's society, celebrities aren't even the most skilled or talented people. They are people, not in all cases, but usually they're the ones who got lucky either because of their status or past relations with people, or most commonly, money. And when people like celebrities are given so much power to influence so many young people who have the most vulnerable and shapeable minds, one wrong action can infiltrate that person's mind and completely corrupt it. In today's world, celebrities, unfortunately, aren't the ones who do the right thing. They're the ones who do something different, which again isn't always the best option. Even in some cases where celebrities are good people or they seem like it, a lot of people end up being disappointed in the end, which can really ruin how they feel about that person or what they're inspired by. I fervently believe that a good role model should be someone you know personally, someone really trustworthy, and someone you can always count on, because that is really what makes a good role model. Yes, for me personally, my role model is someone I know myself, I've met with, I've had personal interactions with, and someone I can really be inspired by, because it should be someone that has the same motives as me, the same goals as me, because we cannot all fit into the same mold. And celebrities are people we compare ourselves with, we try to compete with. And this is not a really good effect on our mental health. In conclusion, even though I believe that there can be celebrities who really have a good influence on people, they are not, in most cases, they are not the good role models for us to follow. Thank you.
Bang on. You finished your speech exactly on time as the buzzer went on. So, very well spoken, well articulated thoughts. I absolutely agree with your point of view that in order to be a good role model, you first need to be considered a good human being. A person who has empathy for others, tries to make good decisions, and follows the laws, which can be considered as ideal for the ideal role models. But public figures do inspire children all over the world. They give them confidence to do great things with their lives. It all depends upon the correct perspective to which a person looks into. So I must say that you spoke well and it was a wonderful performance. Tripti ma'am, if you can tell us the time taken by the child.
Judges, kindly note the participant took 3 minutes.
Let us now have our next participant, EQ10.
Good morning, ma'am. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, dear, absolutely audible. You may please take your pick.
I will go with Kipling.
Okay, so let's see what topic you have corresponding to Kipling. So your topic is, real wealth is not measured in money or possessions, and your thinking time begins now. Yes, child, you can start speaking.
Greetings to one and all present here. I am Akshata Vasthi, and today I shall be presenting my views on the topic, real wealth is not measured in money or possessions. Wealth is relative. Wealth isn't always about money, having the biggest cars, biggest homes, or the biggest of bank accounts. Wealth, it depends. People run after money. They think money solves everything. If they have money, they'll have no problems, no issues. Their life would be absolutely flawless. The end of their problems would be when they're richer. But that isn't exactly the case. What I consider wealth is moral values. When we go out in public, the moment we start talking, the other person realizes our values, the way we speak, the way we carry ourselves, that is the real wealth. And there's something that my mother always tells me, that being successful isn't about having huge homes and bungalows. It is about being courteous, considerate, being an active member of the community, helping others in need. That is when you've achieved real wealth. I would like to quote something that my grandfather taught me before he passed away, that when you grow up, never forget those who helped you. Never forget even the smallest person who one day helped you or was there when you were in need. Being true to yourself, having a courteous heart, that to me is real wealth, which no one can enjoy upon us. We something that it comes naturally. We don't always require someone to teach us. The way we're brought up, it reflects upon the parenting. The wealth that the parents give us, that is immaculate. I'm actually indebted to my parents for actually emphasizing upon being true, being moral since a very, very young age. I would often go to the parks, to one of the orphanage. I actually made friends over there. I was so happy to share incidents, to share my feelings, to make friends with them and make them feel loved. So that's the kind of society we should nurture. That's the kind of citizens we must become, we must aim to become in the coming future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, EQ10. I could easily make out that the speech was coming directly from your heart as you gave examples of what your mother taught you, your grandfather taught you, and what all you learned from our society. Indeed, it is true that real wealth is never measured by money, power, or status. Real wealth is measured in the legacy we leave behind for people we love and inspire. It's measured by the degree of happiness and satisfaction we have towards life and the positive personal relationships. So well done. Let us now know how much time you took. Though I know it was exactly 3, but just to confirm whether the time was exactly 3 minutes taken by you. Tripti ma'am, can you please share the timings?
Judges kindly note that the participant took 3 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's now have our next participant, EQ11.
Yes, ma'am. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, dear, you're absolutely clearly audible. So please take your pick.
I would like to select Byron.
Byron. Okay, so let's see what is your corresponding topic. So your topic is imagination is more important than knowledge, and your thinking time begins now. Yes, dear, you can start with your speech.
Good morning and Jai to one and all present here. I totally agree with the statement. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I believe that imagination leads to innovation. One can only invent something. One can only give rise to something new when when he imagines it. Often it is said that it is considered that knowledge is more important than imagination, and hence people also consider children and adults who have adults who are in professions that require knowledge. Like our society considers engineers and doctors better than artists, choreographers, and photographers, and many other people who are in such creative fields. I think the knowledge of book is not everything. Imagination is something that everyone can do, and that is the reason we cannot consider someone inferior to someone. I think everything that we see today was once imagined. The chairs, the tables, that the furniture around us, the walls around us, it was all imagined once. It was not possible only because of the knowledge of mathematics and sciences. It was possible because someone imagined it first. I believe that we first dream, and we first visualize our dreams. We first think about it, and then we pursue it. Because imagining is the first step that leads to other things. I think imagination is almost everything, we can say. And all of us uh, all of us do have some dreams. All of us do imagine things and visualize them, and then we go and pursue them. I think imagination requires a lot of intelligence. Imagination is not is not an idle task. It is something really uh, creative. I think imagination can lead us to become really better people, a really better person. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well tried, EQ11. I absolutely agree with your point of view that it's very true that imagination is the highest freedom of all and the one that no one can deprive us of. The greatness of creative imagination is praised not only by the romantics and the artists of this world, but the brightest of scientific brains as it embraces the entire world and is not limited within the boundaries. So we all have the power of imagination. Tripti ma'am, if you can tell us the time taken by the child for delivering the speech.
Judges, kindly note that the participant took 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Thank you, ma'am. So the next contestant is EQ12.
I might like to choose Dal.
Dal. Okay, so let's see what is your topic. And your topic is, if you had $1 million to give away, what would you do? And your thinking time starts now. Yes, child. You can begin with your speech.
A very good morning and Jai Jagat to one and all present out here this wonderful morning. If I had $1 million, what would I do with it? Since my childhood, I have always been told whatever you have in excess must be shared with different people, people who are in need. So if I had $1 million, I'd actually try to give it to other people. I try my hands out at philanthropy, which actually is giving out to other people without expecting anything in return. My first aim would be to donate at least a little amount in the orphanages throughout the country. There are many children who are left on the streets or abandoned by the parents, taken in by the different orphanages. I personally have visited an orphanage once for my own birthday celebration, and I felt at ease when I met them. Those children were all carefree, they lived happily, but I could clearly sense that they had a hole that could not be filled with anything other than love. I'd like to express my love in any physical form possible, whether it be whether it is a in any physical form like money or gifts or anything of that sort. Then I'd also like to donate to UNICEF for a similar reason as I would donate to the orphanages. UNICEF, the a branch of UNO, has been working throughout the world to save the children and make them a better people, to educate them and to rescue them from war-prone areas like Iran and Iraq. And as of today, they are running short on funds. I'd like my best. I'd like to try my best to help them out. Then the biggest issue in the country or throughout the world right now, the COVID. I'd also I'd give my remaining money to the COVID relief funds because so that the government can bring more and more vaccines, and the people in the remote areas who can either not afford it or do not have access to areas where the vaccine where they can get the vaccine shall get vaccinated, because as a human being, it's our foremost job to save a person who you can save. We never know who might get affected by the COVID, and I never know when it might get it's my turn. So following the teachings of my late grandfather, who always taught me to make sure that everyone around me is happy and not make sure that if I have anything in access, I am not the only one who enjoys it. I'll certainly donate it to everyone. With this thought, I'd like to put it in. Thank you and Jai Jagat.
Very refreshing and positive thoughts put forth by you. And I absolutely agree that in necessary things, it's the unity, in doubtful things, the liberty, and in all things, it's the charity which must be done by we all human beings. Let's promise to be helpful and generous in all the times to serve the humanity. Very well spoken, dear. Let us now have the time taken by you, though I believe it was exactly 3 minutes. Let's see. May we have the timings, please?
Judges, kindly note that the participant took 3 minutes exactly.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now the next participant is EQ 13.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can choose the
Ma'am,
topic.
my choice is Milton.
Milton. Okay, so let's see what is the corresponding topic to Milton. So your topic is tablets, laptops should replace textbooks and notebooks in class. And your time starts now. Thinking time.
Once when we were small, and today again we want to inculcate
You can begin with your speech now.
Greetings to one and all present here. Francis Bacon had once said, "Some books are meant to be tasted, others are meant to be chewed, and some others yet are meant to be swallowed and digested." But sadly, today the reality is that students, especially the young adolescents, are so engrossed in their tablets and laptops that, leave alone tasting the books, they barely see them. I firmly believe that replacing tablets and laptops will be a detrimental cause, not only in the short term, but also in the long term holistic development of a child. Psychologists say that when you actually read a book, you read stuff on paper, you have better retention. Unlike when you swipe through, you scroll through, the retention is not that impactful. Secondly, don't you feel certain satisfaction when you flip through the pages of the book, when you annotate your books? You obviously cannot bookmark or annotate your websites. Definitely, the books smell much better than your tablets or laptops. We all are aware of the negative impacts that laptops and tablets have. Eye strains, to say the least, and distractions, to say the most. Definitely, textbooks, libraries are the best place that you can ever be. Tablets and laptops, although they are helpful in certain spheres, no denying that, especially after the COVID, who can deny the utility of them? But I certainly believe that the traditional method of listening and writing is the most effective way of learning anything new. Tablets and laptops cannot be a substitute for textbooks. When you read something, when you have it in front of paper, even if I ask you all with a quick survey, how many of us actually feel comfortable when we read something that's on paper? We prefer getting printouts of long documents, don't we? Then why do we expect our young children to read, to learn everything, their entire curriculum? Why should it be technology centered? Yes, I also agree that technology is an essential part, but we have different computer classes for that. We should not change our methodology, our pedagogy to tablets and laptops. Therefore, as my conclusion, I would like to say that if we want to ensure a better all-round development, if we want to ensure that students learn rather than swipe and scroll, rather than getting addicted to the distractions, if they really want to focus, that's how a student's life should be. If they really want to stay focused, I believe that tablets and laptops should not replace the textbooks. Thank you.
What a confident performance. I absolutely agree that books are the best partners, but textbooks, they are a load students carry on their backs. Truly, laptops and tablets are light, compact, and easy to use. And COVID-19 has proven that these are the most appropriate substitutes of textbooks. Very well spoken. Tripti ma'am, if you can tell us the time taken by the participant.
Judges, kindly note the participant took 3 minutes exactly.
Thank you, ma'am. Let us now have the last participant for the competition, EQ 14.
Yes, sir. I would like to choose Browning.
Browning. So let's see, what is your topic? So your topic is, it is easier to preach than to practice. And your thinking time begins now. You may start speaking now.
Good morning to each and everyone present here. And I would like to express my views on the topic. It is easier to preach than practice. We have heard this many times, and it is one of the most important teachings life can give us. Preaching is when you tell something blindly. It is just like blind faith. You have never experienced it, but still you say that. To preach and then practice, this is not the correct way to be there in the society. And we have many live examples that we can take inspiration from. We must have heard the story about the founder of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. There was a lady who once came to Mahatma Gandhi requesting that he should inspire his child to stop eating sweets. Mahatma Gandhi denied at once and said that please come after a week. When the women came once again, he told that I was also having the sweet tooth at that time. Then how could I preach something that I don't practice? That is the learning we should take from these influential people. And I don't need to just justify the statement, it is very much evident. Mahatma Gandhi was one of the greatest personalities, and everyone in this world knows how he led the satyagraha or the non-violent struggle. We should learn from influential people. Also, William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon, quoted in The Merchant of Venice that it is easier to preach than to practice. Portia said that I could teach 20. That would be easier for me than rather be one of the 20 to listen and follow my own teaching. There are elders among us who tell us everything that we need to know, but sometimes they don't even practice what they preach. If we tell someone something that we haven't even experienced, how can our saying be correct at that moment of time? Preaching requires thoughts and words, whereas practicing requires thoughts as well as action. The easiest job in the world is to preach, but the most difficult job in the world is to practice what we preach ourselves. We have seen many religious leaders in this world who don't even follow what they preach and they are involved in illegal activities. That should not be the case. It's very evident in this world that how people behave. We can just see that on their faces. And I stand, and as a concluding statement, I would like to say this statement is really important to my life.
Very well tried by EQ 14. Indeed, practice requires conscious thought and effort, whereas preaching may involve only a semi-active mind. It is always easier to say something than to do the thing you're speaking about. Or as the saying goes, we should walk the talk. Instead of talking, we should prove it through our practice. So this was the last contestant for the competition. I would now request Tripti ma'am to kindly share the time taken by EQ 14.
Judges, kindly note that the participant took 3 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Since all the participants have already put their views forward as per the topics given to them, and this was our last participant for the contest, it's time for the compilation of the results. Till the time results are being prepared, let us all watch some interesting and informative videos. May we have the videos, please?
Patenting and biopiracy is about robbing people of their knowledge, their resources, and their confidence.
No patent should be granted to any corporate company without the prior informed consent of that particular local community.
The biodiversity of the developing world has long been a source of food and medicine. The Northern Hemisphere has comparatively few native plants that can be used for either. Early European explorers were overwhelmed by the richness of plant life to be found in the south. Crops such as potatoes, rice and maize were refined over many centuries by farmers in the developing world, and medicines like those based on opium and quinine changed European life forever. Nowadays, it's large companies rather than explorers that are fascinated by the wealth of genetic variety to be found in the south. They get hold of the plants originating from Asia, South America and Africa and develop them into food and drugs for the global marketplace. But even in the cases where huge profits have come in, little or no attempt has been made to recompense the poor in the countries of origin. Companies are using techniques from crossbreeding to genetic engineering to create improved varieties from native plants. Having created these new varieties, the companies responsible often insist on complete ownership and control of their processes and products in order to prevent any other company copying and so profiting from their investment. They do this through a patent. A patent holder can prevent anyone making a copy of their product and its derivatives anywhere within the country for 20 years, until the patent expires. But the existing varieties of medicinal and food plants, which are the raw materials of the biotech companies, are often themselves already the result of thousands of years of selective breeding by generations of indigenous farmers. According to WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, a patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, which is a product or a process that provides a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solution to a problem. But can a species of barley or rice that's been cultivated by countless farmers over many generations ever be considered an invention? Can the medicinal bark of a tree growing in Africa ever be claimed? An international UN agreement is so far proving an inadequate means to compensate the farmers and traditional healers. The companies take out a patent to protect their investment of time and technology in creating new varieties for the commercial market. But their critics see huge profits being made with patents while the local population appears to receive nothing. RiceTech is an American rice company based in Texas. The company was accused by its critics of biopiracy when it patented a hybrid of basmati rice. Basmati is a rice variety developed by farmers over centuries in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. Earth Report contacted RiceTech for an interview. RiceTech declined, but a spokesman told us that the company had not done anything morally wrong, let alone legally dubious. In fact, RiceTech maintains it's actually boosting the market for conventional basmati in the US. The marketing of American-grown products has increased basmati and jasmine rice awareness amongst US consumers. It could be argued that in the US, the importers are, in fact, benefiting from or riding piggyback on the RiceTech marketing programs here. Basmati's characteristic size, texture and delicate smell and flavour is the result of improvements made by Indian and Pakistani farmers over many generations. Dr. Vandana Shiva, a physicist and environmental activist, has been at the forefront of advocating the Indian farmers' cause.
We jolly well knew Basmati was not invented instantaneously in 1997 by a company sitting in Texas. It has evolved over centuries by the work of nature and the intelligence of farmers.
India exports $257 million worth of basmati rice a year, of which $30 million is accounted for by sales in the US. RiceTech saw an opportunity. If it could develop a hybrid basmati that could be grown in America, it will be able to supply the home market with basmati rice. Using samples of North Indian and Pakistani basmati freely available from the World Collection, RiceTech identified its characteristics in their laboratories for their own hybrid. After 10 years of development, RiceTech produced its first crop of the new rice variety. They called it Kasmati, American basmati rice. In 1997, the United States was one of the few countries in the world that allowed patents on life, such as a seed that can grow and reproduce. RiceTech patented the process to make Kasmati, listing 20 characteristics it claimed were unique to its product amongst American rice. It's now available throughout the United States. As RiceTech's basmati variety is derived from North Indian and Pakistani rice, the two share many of the same characteristics. But, claim RiceTech's critics, the patent fails to recognize the improvements made by generations of farmers. The patent system, they claim, has cut the inventors out of the equation.
Country after country was saying there should be no patents on life, including India and including the countries of Africa, countries which have held life as a gift of nature, as sacred, as an innovation worked collectively by communities over time, that patents on this domain are wrong. They're ethically wrong, they're socioeconomically unjust, and they should not be enforced. And therefore, dramatic changes are needed.
US patent law classes a unique variety bred from other lines as an invention, allowing it to be patented. And this is all RiceTech says it needs to concern itself with. So the defenders of the basmati cultivators are up against the law of another country which they see as morally abhorrent. So what of international rules and law? In the words of RiceTech's former president, Robin Andrew, RiceTech did not establish the law, but we follow it. Fundamentally, this is where the problem lies, in the law and in the question of intellectual property, or more simply, who owns what. The only regulation in place for over half a century had been the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT, which was introduced to encourage free trade between states. In 1995, GATT was replaced by the World Trade Organization. The WTO agreement, known as TRIPS, or Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights, is an attempt to standardize international rights for inventors. The agreement requires every WTO member state to observe or create laws of patent. It has far-reaching effects. First, if a member country has no patent laws, it must create them, and countries with existing laws must modify them to fit TRIPS requirements. Second, the agreement requires that all new plant breeds be patented or licensed. This is the first time patenting on life has been made an obligation. It's new to nearly all WTO member states, and many of them object. But WTO is an all-or-nothing organization. If you are a member of the club, you must adhere to all of its rules. You can't choose to ignore an agreement if you don't like it, and TRIPS is part of the package. This greatly reduces the bargaining power of any country, developing or otherwise, which opposes the TRIPS approach. The question also arises, who really stands to make the most from this agreement? Carolina Larson Diaz is a London-based lawyer specializing in international trade.
Well, at the time of negotiating the TRIPS agreement, it was quite apparent that it was the industrialized countries, mostly the United States of America and the EU and other industrialized countries, very strongly in support of the TRIPS agreement, and were pushing for enforcement and actually for intellectual property regimes to be expanded all over the world. So it was basically a strong requirement from their industries and from their government departments to support and to protect all the investment they had been making in their own inventions and in their own intellectual property systems.
Both in medicine and in agriculture, critics say developing countries drew the shortest of short straws because they were not sufficiently involved in the WTO decision-making process on TRIPS. At the Rio Earth Summit, nations agreed to the Convention on Biological Diversity. Brokered over several years by the UN Environment Programme, it's an attempt to compensate the individuals, local communities and the poor southern countries while continuing to provide an incentive to the companies to develop new foods and medicines. Its three main goals are the conservation of biological diversity, the sustainable use of its components, the fair and equitable sharing of the benefits from the use of genetic resources. So, the international community accepts the principle of benefit sharing, but 10 years on at the Johannesburg summit, governments had still not agreed on how to make it work in any meaningful way for the benefit of the poor. The US has not ratified the UN Convention, and there seems little prospect it will do so. Meanwhile, the patent system and WTO rule the roost, and the poor wait in vain for a practical way of spreading the benefits of commercialization. This is the village of Mkarakate in Zimbabwe, home to Maigweje and her son. Maigweje is a traditional healer. Her knowledge of how to make medicines from plants has been handed down from generation to generation.
Kumudzidzisa kwandiri kuita ndiri kuitira kuti azobatsirawo vanhu mangwana kana ini ndisisipo ndinogona kungofa iye anosara achionawo kubatsira vamwe vanogona kubatsira.
The villagers rely on her healing skills. The few generic drugs available at clinics are way too expensive. Maigweje uses a large number of herbal medicines. One of them, the bark of the tree Schwartzia madagascarensis, contains a powerful cure for cuts and infections. In 1995, the University of Zimbabwe, in partnership with the Swiss University of Lausanne, undertook a study of Zimbabwe's medicinal and poisonous plants. The two academic institutions signed an agreement that any commercial success resulting from the project would be shared. The rich knowledge of Zimbabwean traditional healers meant that samples of many different plants could be supplied to the project, including the bark of the Schwartzia tree.
Mushonga unofanirwa kushandisa mazuva matatu kuti 1 2 3 handitika wozodzoka kunotoona kuti zvinenge zvakamira sei.
Mazuva matatu.
The research scientists at the University of Lausanne discovered why traditional healers had been using Schwartzia bark for so long. It contains one of the world's most powerful antifungal agents. Used as a medicine, it can cure yeast and microbial infections. Here was a natural medicine with a potential for huge commercial success. But, according to the scientists from the University of Zimbabwe, the University of Lausanne took out a sole patent on the substance and sold the license for further development and manufacture to a US drugs company. Lausanne University spokesperson Dr. Andrew Marston told Earth Report in a statement that the University of Zimbabwe was fully informed of the deal, which allowed for 0.75% of net sales to go to each university in the event of a commercial success. The University of Zimbabwe claims that the Swiss university broke the agreement by registering the patent alone and not jointly. It's telling that in this legal wrangle between universities, there was no mention of Maigweje, whose traditional knowledge brought Schwartzia to the attention of scientists in the first place. This is where the Convention on Biological Diversity has come in for criticism, as its line on fair and equitable sharing of the benefits often goes ignored. Under the CBD, the traditional healers should be included in any agreement and sharing of any benefits. But it leaves the onus on each individual country to adopt legislation. And furthermore, the CBD does not define what is a fair and equitable arrangement. Currently, the CBD does not require that applicants for patents prove they've gained permission to obtain their source material, nor are they required to disclose any of their sources. This is what critics are pushing for, that patent applicants must acknowledge the original stakeholders and include them in any future profits. Although well-intentioned, the CBD's provisions are vaguely worded and it relies on agreement and non-binding guidance. Unlike the WTO, it has no power to enforce the rules. But the CBD is the developing world's best protection. 105 countries have signed up to it. Though the Secretariat declined to put up a spokesperson, Earth Report was told that signatories do abide by its guiding principles. It was certainly a useful tool that agronomist Dr. Andrew Mushita was able to use in the Zimbabwean Schwarzia bark case.
Lausanne University had actually taken a patent based on the materials of the Schwarzia plant which they got from Zimbabwe. And we then used the conventional biological diversity to bring Lausanne University to the negotiating table. We indicated to Lausanne that the Swiss government and Zimbabwe were both parties to this convention, and they had actually to respect the tenets of this international multilateral agreement, which they were party to.
Vandana Shiva followed a different route with RiceTech.
I walked with about 20 old women to the headquarters of RiceTech to say hands of basmati, did all the little things little people do, till it became such an embarrassment. Every citizen who came to know of this was sending a letter to the US Patent Office to say, you are supposed to recognize and reward invention, which means something new. Basmati has existed in Asia, India and Pakistan for centuries. The farmers have bred it. It is their collective innovation. The claim of RiceTech is a biopiracy claim. If you do not cancel this patent, we will rename you as the US Piracy and Trademark Office rather than the US Patent Office, and we are watching every move you make.
After years of campaigning, some of the original 20 patented characteristics that RiceTech had claimed were cancelled by the US Patent Office, and others were withdrawn by the company. Of the original 20, only 3 claims now remain. Dr. Andrew Mushita and a group of concerned Africans drafted a new model law that's been adopted by the African Union. Although the AU model law excludes patents on life, it does allow for licenses, a less restrictive form of ownership. Any country making or amending patent laws to satisfy TRIPS requirements can use it. It also contains elements that protect traditional community farmers and healers.
We firmly believe that the Western industrialized countries' laws that do not recognize indigenous knowledge systems and protect those who steal from these traditional healers, patent those products which they develop, need to change their laws to accommodate and get the reality that there is also a body of knowledge which they are benefiting from the developed countries.
The debate among WTO member governments is whether the TRIPS agreement actually hinders the protection of traditional knowledge and folklore. Traditional communities themselves need to value their skills and seeds and know their rights.
We suddenly realize 80% of our healthcare we take care of through our medicinal plants. 100% of the seeds are our seeds. The fodder doesn't come from the mad cow fodder of England. It is the fodder of the diversity of plants that our cows use, which also are healing plants. So there's less disease among the cows. He said, for the first time, we realized we have the wealth, the biological and intellectual wealth.
The debates and negotiations are far from over. Views are extreme and passionate, and further revision to global agreements does not necessarily bode well for one and all.
So really there is a bit of a danger that developing countries should be alerted to if a completely harmonized system on patents and patenting standards is adopted. And that will really deprive them of any flexibility, of any options on how they develop their intellectual property regimes. And this is again something which the most powerful countries, again the countries with a very complex intellectual property systems are pushing for. It's very complex, and developing countries need to be alerted that they need to play the cards in all of this, and if they want their interests to be recognized.
Defenders of TRIPS say the agreement is essential to protect the rights of innovators and to encourage the development of new technology. The CBD shows that nations agree in principle on the need for indigenous farmers and healers to benefit from the commercialization of traditional foods and medicines. What is still lacking is an effective mechanism to make this happen.
Dear participants, I request you all to kindly switch on your cameras. All of you kindly switch on your cameras so that we can build a connect with you. Adi Malhotra, EQ04, EQ03. You've still not switched on your cameras. Even EQ05, Shambhavi. I request each one of you to kindly switch on your cameras. Thank you so much. So as we all know that the results will be announced shortly. Till then, as we have our eminent judges with us, let's grab this opportunity to request them to share their valuable tips and ideas pertaining to this event with all of us. To begin with, I request Ma'am Saima Khan to share her views. Saima ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you so much. I would love to take everybody's name. Hajela ma'am, Sushmita Basu ma'am. It's an honor to be amongst all of you over here. So in fact, I am the learner over here too. Always a learner, and especially learning from children. Just coming up on stage and speaking, an attribute, a gift, a very precious gift, which is granted to mankind alone. So yes, we must be careful with what we speak and how we speak. Right at the onset, I actually want to hear that thunderous applause for each participant. It is a tough job to speak extempore. It is a tough job. So a huge round of applause. You all are winners. Since I have been asked to give in my opinion, yes, I am a motivational speaker and it hasn't come easy. It has been a very tedious journey, I would say, learning every day. So in order to speak, we have to keep a few points in mind where we all can speak. We all have been given that gift by God. But speaking on a platform which is actually like we have a panel of judges judging us, or we at an interview, I would like to appreciate the entire team of the innovation wing. You all have lived up to your name, innovation. That is, this is the correct time, the correct age to bring children on the platform where you all are giving them an opportunity, especially during these very unprecedented times, the VUCA world we are in. VUCA as in volatile, for V, uncertain, you all must have heard of it, VUCA, coined by the American Army, complex and ambiguous world. But we would like to change it to a very positive term, and that is VUCA with vision. Then we have a lot of understanding for each other. We become, the confusion should be converted into clarity and the ambiguity into agility. So I did see all those points which are there in our students, the youngsters, the future generation. And before, I would like to tell you a few things where maybe we can improve. Not that I'm the best or I'm very good. It's just my experience that will tell you that how to improve in the future. You all were very good. None of you should take it personally that I have not done a good job. Even if you all stopped, even if you all were searching for words, no problem at all. It will make you, I promise you, it's just my experience speaking, a little better next time. Maybe your success will not bring about that change, but I will not call it failure at all. That little hesitation where we must stop to think, where did I go wrong? My mother is an educator. I would like to share this with you. Do I have around 3 to 4 minutes to speak, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
I'm
Yes,
a little
ma'am.
emotional today. When I got the invite, and Andalit ma'am was very gracious enough to invite me around 2 months, prior to the event. So I just did not want to say no because I wanted to be a part of this event. Today is the 6th death anniversary of my father. A father who, I said a father, not the father, because he was a father who has taught me a lot in life. Today, when I have the guts to speak in front of so many people, because he was a very good, and he was a sports person as well as he gave us the best education in Kolkata. So I attribute everything, I give it to my teachers. And my favorite teacher is my mother, who is an educator. At 82, I would say she is an educator, because we are still rebuked maybe sometimes when we speak unclearly or we use the incorrect words. I feel I speak very good in Urdu, and she says pronunciation all incorrect. So still we are learners and learning every day. This is what I want to share. We must remain learners every day. Now, in particular, if I would like to talk about extemporary, the toughest thing to do is speak without any preparation, or that 1 minute that we get for preparation. This is actually preparing you to give in the best of interviews. Later, if you all want to go abroad and you all have to give the IELTS examination, IELTS, this is what will be there. And you all are being prepared at such a young age. So be very happy. You all have got such a wonderful team of such good orators. It was such a pleasure listening to Hajela ma'am, to Shushmita Basu ma'am, the MCs, both of you. You all were so wonderful. So you all have got the correct people right in front of you whom you all can emulate. everybody does not get that chance. It is your teachers, your mentors, who are actually shaping your future. And I'm so happy it is being done so beautifully. Now, a few points I would like to tell. Right at the onset, I would like to applaud EQ 04, 7, 12, 13, and 14. I do not know what the results will be like, because y'all have fulfilled the criteria that is for speech, and that is vocabulary. A word bank which nobody can take away from you. That will remain yours always. Vocabulary is something which helps you to speak without those fillers. What are fillers? When we go on, oh, as you know, we are searching for words, and it is not coming from the mind to the tongue because we have not practiced enough, right? So vocabulary is something which is the crux of speech, your word bank. These contestants, I do not know what the result. They use the correct, vocabulary, and obviously they had it in their mind. They had read it before. As Shashi Tharoor says, the best word that we can have in the vocabulary of a child is read. So you all must read current affairs. That is the only, point which will help you to speak with clarity, correctly, and the correct usage of words without those fillers. As soon as the fillers come in, the listener will think, okay, he's searching or she's searching for words. So read. Yes, you read, whether through books. I love that statement, the smell of books. The smell of books. It was so beautiful. And especially for oldies like me, I'm using a very colloquial word. Yes, books. And that should be the best hobby. Do not try to put on an accent. We are not native speakers. We are Indians. Let us speak with clarity. Yes, correct pronunciation. But no point putting on that added twang. It does not add value to the speech at all. I'm not saying that you all did it. I'm just guiding you all. Since this is my job, I'm training every day, and wanted to share with you all. I'm training the learners from 3 years of age to 62 years of age. My oldest student is 62 years old. Amazing because she said she lost her husband in May 23rd. And her dream was to speak in English without hesitation. She is my most favorite student because the way she does assignments, nobody else. So there is no age for learning. We all must be a learner. Kudos to each one of you. I will just like to tell you that simple way for extempore is follow the formula of PEE. Sounds a little odd. Well, it is point, given your point, explain it, give an example. As simple as that. You will not be overlapping the topics. There will be clarity in your speech. And there will be no hesitation. Do not pick up too many topics. That 1 minute, just pick up 2 points and speak with clarity on that. If you pick up too many points, in that 3 minutes, you cannot speak. Okay, so just pick up 1 point, giving real life, examples, anecdotes, best way to keep the listener interested in what you speak. So when you are giving a real, and you have involved yourself into that speech, it is the most interesting method. And over here, we judges, I will not call myself a judge. I was just a listener. And I was listening with so much of amazement. Wow, these children are so good. In spite of not coming into the school every day, they are confined and still they are speaking so well. You all have done your homework very well. Nobody who has even hesitated will not take it to heart at all. I'm repeating it. Yes, please do not use redundant, irrelevant words. that the content, the marks goes down. That is, okay, I am so and so. We all know who you are because your numbers are there. Then my name is this, and I have been given this topic. You all are eating up your own marks. Then here, for the content. That means you all are speaking things which are redundant. That is irrelevant. So avoid doing all that. Just start like a few participants. What they did, they started off with a quote, or they started off explaining the topic. That gives you all extra marks for the content. So that means you have spoken for the time and you'll have not used redundant, irrelevant, useless words. You'll have started with, so that means your knowledge is being reflected. Now, when we are speaking English and we are debating, of course, our knowledge is judged. But for extempore, it is our language that is being judged. So we'll try to be very good with our lexical resource, which is nothing but your vocabulary. Grammatical range and accuracy must be there for English. Whichever language we speak, it should be correctly. Otherwise, let's not speak it. So we should work a little bit on recording our voice. Like my elocution teacher would, I still remember her, she's no more, Mrs. Saunders would say, take a mirror in front of you, that hand mirror, and say, water and vase, bite your bottom lip. So the pronunciation comes in very correctly. These are small little tips which our mentors have taught, and I've just shared it with you. I'm a little emotional today, so I think I've spoken a little extra. I'm sorry for that. Read a lot, especially current affairs. It will help you. If general knowledge will not be there, how will we have specific knowledge? That's all I would like to say. A huge round of applause to the entire team. God bless you all. Stay safe. Thank you, Jai Jagat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable tips, your words of appreciation as well as wisdom. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Ma'am Nikhat Khan to share her views on the event and the presentations of various participants. Ma'am Nikhat Khan.
Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Well, before I begin, Saima ma'am, hats off to you. I've learned so much from you today, and wonderfully, judged, and you've rightly told the children what they lacked in and what they should practice. So much has already been said, children, but there are still a few points which I'd like to add on to Saima ma'am. They're quite similar, but then I, work on a formula of 7 Ds. It's quite similar to the PEE, but still a little elaborate. So if you want, you can jot down these 7 words. The first D that you must learn is directness. Do not waste time. Whenever there is a timed event, do not waste time in exchanging greetings. Do not introduce yourself. In the rules also it said, please do not take your name, right? So you have a code, you've been given a code. Never take your name, never introduce yourself. Name does not really matter. Okay, so that's the first step. Come directly to the topic, right? The second thing, the second word is dissect. You know what dissection is, right? So break your topic. When I say break your topic, that means that you move on to each and every word. Understand it first. I know 1 minute is too short a time to do all this, but if you practice, it comes very easily. So dissect the topic, go word by word, harp on the keywords. You're all ICSC students, you know what keywords mean, right? So dissect the topic, understand. It is easy to make others understand if you yourself comprehend the word well, right? The third D is to define. I'm not saying take the Oxford Dictionary definitions. What is your perspective of the topic is what definition means, right? Coming to the fourth point, develop. That's where the content comes in, right? That's where the content comes in. Please make sure that when you use your content, you take real life examples. It's very good if you, speak in the form of a narrative. If it comes like a flow, as in a narrative in the first person where you engage yourself, as if you're narrating a real life experience, which I felt EQ 14 did very well. I'm particularly very impressed with the way EQ 14 took up this directness and development of the topic. Very well done. Not that the others did not. Most of you were exceptionally good. Then the next point is duration. Please take care of the time that you've been given. You may have been very good, but if you did not complete 3 minutes of speaking, it goes a little against you. All right. There were certain students towards the end, 12, 13, 14, there was a few more, 10, 9, who completed their speech in exactly 3 minutes. Kudos to those children, because even if we are given 3 minutes, I'm sure even I cannot, fulfill that in that stipulated time. So very, very well done. That is perfect. Very well done. Then the next D, children, is diction. Very important. The choice of words and the way you pronounce them, right? So these Ds, if you take care of, these are only 6. The 7th one is a D and D. Do not digress from the given topic. D and D. You'll say she's quite fascinated with Ds, but this is a very easy way to learn, right? So do not digress from the topic. And I'll give you a very important tip here. When the rules say that you can refer to notes, prepare flashcards in that 1 minute. Flashcards means just write down bullet points. They come in very handy. Like Saima ma'am said, and I endorse that, 2 to 3 points, nothing more than that. Harp on those points, develop those points, give real life examples. I loved the way Portia's example was brought in, practice and preaching. Very well done. And if you give real life examples, your speech becomes very interesting. That's all I have to say to you today. Very well done. It doesn't matter who wins, who loses. Trust me, I have learned a lot today. And a teacher ceases to be, an educator ceases to be one if he or she stops learning. So learning is an ongoing process. I think I'm going to learn till the last breath of my life. And that is what you should follow. And please practice these 7 Ds. I'm sure next time you will compete with yourself and you'll feel a notch higher. Thank you, CMS Innovations team, for having me on board. I truly enjoyed myself. It was a privilege and indeed an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable tips, especially the ideas of 7 Ds, which you elaborated upon, which can be taken up definitely during the class teaching. Thank you for sharing your valuable tips, your appreciational words, your words of encouragement. And definitely, thank you for being the part of this event. So, dear participants, the results are ready now. And without any delay, I request Ma'am Vera Hajela, our own very dear Ma'am Vera Hajela, Head Spoken English, CMS Alumni Association, ISOR High Project and Dramatics, to declare the results. But before I invite Ma'am, I would like to welcome our Senior Principal, Ma'am Batra from Mahanagar Extension Campus. We are honored to have you, Ma'am, with us, and thank you for joining us. It's the time we are going to have the announcements of the results, and I have already invited Ma'am Vera Hajela to kindly declare the results. So, Ma'am, if you can do the honors, please. Ma'am Vera Hajela.
Thank you so very much, Samta ma'am. This is perhaps the toughest job on earth, to be declaring results. Why on earth do we have results at all? Sometimes I question myself. But perhaps this is imperative for us to know where we stand, and these parameters are relative. What is nice and what has been beautiful and what has beautifully transpired and has been transacted in the last 1 hour, should we say, or even more than an hour, is the entire experience of it all. being on this virtual platform to be able to articulate on a topic which is being given to each one of you just a minute prior to you being able to speak on it. It's a huge challenge. You're all of 15 years of age, or maybe a little above this way or that, you know, and to be able to take on this challenge heads on and, you know, to be able to go ahead with it with the kind of confidence and conviction each one of you did, I thought it was beautiful. Therefore, for me, if I were to sort of declare the results on my own count at my own level, each one of you has been a winner. Nevertheless, you need to take due cognizance of the points and the valuable, priceless tips that have been shared by our eminent judges this morning, and now this afternoon, Ms. Saima Khan and Ms. Nikhat Khan. Those were very valuable tips indeed. I went back in time, you know, to the days when I was being tutored and mentored and coached for each of these public speaking exercises by my teachers. Each of those 7 Ds and the PE square, very important indeed to take you up on stage. Today, of course, you were in your comfortable corners of your homes or in your campuses if you happen to be there. But to be up on stage is doubly frightening. Isn't that so, children? You know that. So there's always a knee-jerk, you know, reaction, a topic suddenly you have to speak on. You're not prepared, caught unawares. But what is it that can help you go forward and go ahead with the kind of conviction that is required and expected from you? A good set of words, a thinking process in place, cohesiveness of being able to put and assimilate all those thoughts together in a sequential manner, and to have a style of your own to be able to make an impact on your listeners. And that is what those important tips were all about, coming from both. I mean, I refer to you as Khans, ma'am. You are mines, M-I-N-E-S, of important, you know, inputs that have come our way. So that it's been a beautiful exercise, children, and really a lot of takeaways from this entire experience. However, let me spill the beans and share with you the judgment of our respected judges, our eminent judges. Not to say that the others were lesser in terms of their potential or acumen, but some of you maximized and optimized the skill that was required to be exhibited at that point in time. And perhaps luck worked in your favor, and you maximized your luck to be able to exhibit your skill. So I'll move in ascending order, children, if that's okay with you. The second consolation prize, and I won't like to call it consolation, it's probably a special mention, goes to Raina Kausar of Gomti Nagar Campus 1. Congratulations, Raina. Congratulations to the Gomti Nagar 1 campus. Congratulations to the lovely principal, Abha Anant ma'am, and the lovely teachers who helped you and facilitated you and prepared you for this exercise. The first consolation, or the first, again, special mention, as I'd like to call it, goes to Sara Inayati of Gomti Nagar Extension, Cambridge section. Congratulations to you, Sara. Very well done. Congratulations to the very respected and revered principal, our very own and very dear Manjeet Batra ma'am, and the entire team of Gomti Nagar Extension campus. Congratulations. The third position goes to Mridul Yadav of Aliganj Campus 1. Congratulations to you, Mridul. Congratulations to the senior principal, Jyoti Kashyap ma'am. Congratulations to the principal, Shivani Singh ma'am, and to the lovely teachers of Aliganj Campus 1. Very well done. The second position goes to Pranav Pandey of Rajajipuram Campus 1. Congratulations to the principal, Nisha Pandey ma'am. Congratulations to the lovely teachers of this campus. And of course, kudos to the participant Pranav Pandey himself. And now, hold your breath. For the first position, the winner for the day, we have, and had it been an auditorium, and I would have accommodated your guesses. But unfortunately, we are there on this platform, the virtual platform, which is why there's no room for guesses now and to be able to accommodate them. But the winner is Kanishka Mittal of Kanpur Road campus. Congratulations to Kanpur Road campus teachers and to the lovely grand principal, Dr. Vinita Kamran. Congratulations, Kanishka. Very, very well done. God bless you all. It's been a wonderful, enriching, enlightening exercise. Great talent we have witnessed on this virtual platform. Lovely inputs we are taking away with us, thanks to Saima ma'am and Nikat ma'am. Thank you to Basu ma'am for organizing, leading this wonderful enterprise and exercise under her able guidance and leadership. Kudos to the excellent team from CSI for managing and putting this together, sewing this beautiful fabric together, which we are all wrapping around ourselves this morning and now this afternoon. Thank you so much to Ma'am Batra and Ms. Sangeeta Banerjee, the senior principal and principal of Gomti Nagar Campus 1, Campus 2, for loaning their, labs and their IT centers for being able to carry out this beautiful exercise. And above all, congratulations and a huge God bless to all the 14 children for making this event possible. Had it not been for you, where would have we been? We would have been nowhere. Congratulations to all the principals for allowing you to take part in this beautiful event. And thank you to Lord Almighty for giving us this opportunity, even during the pandemic, to feel so closely bonded with each other, to be able to celebrate adolescence and childhood in a manner such as this, and to be able to laud the talent amidst you. Congratulations, a huge God bless once again to everybody present here on this platform, and stay safe, stay blessed, and keep smiling. Thank you, and Jai Jagat.
Thank you, ma'am, for declaring the results as well as proposing the vote of thanks. Thank you so much. So with this, we come to the end of this event. I request you all to kindly leave. Hope to see you soon. Thank you and bye-bye for now.